Nature is imperfectly perfect, filled with loose parts and possibilities, with mud and dust, nettles and sky, transcended hands-on moments, and skinned knees. This is by Richard Louv. Hello, my name is Raim again, and I'm a longtime member of this congregation and a lifelong seeker. One of the core tenets of Unitarian Universalism is the free and responsible search for truth and meaning. That principle has shaped my spiritual journey in many ways, especially through my deepening awareness of the connections that bind us to one another, to the earth, and to the great mystery that holds us all. One of my greatest joys is learning, not to master something, but for the simple joy of discovery. When I found a faith that encouraged learning from many traditions, I knew I had found my spiritual home. In this sanctuary, I discovered the freedom to explore my spiritual questions, to dig deep into wonder, and to follow my threads of curiosity. That curiosity started early, rooted in the gentle teachings of my mother. She has always seen the earth as a gift from God, a living, breathing presence, not separate from the divine, but a direct expression of it. She taught me reverence not through sermons, but through her everyday actions, carrying spiders outside instead of killing them, marveling at the falling of the leaves, and pausing to say thank you when taking in a majestic view. From her, I learned that gratitude is a sacred act. Today, I carry that practice forward in my own quiet ways. I keep my yard chemical-free to provide a safe haven for insects, birds, and small creatures. I grow flowers for the bees and thank them for pollinating my tomatoes. I leave food out for the birds, water for the animals, and scatter sunflower seeds for the squirrels. I rescue frogs and lizards from my cat's curious paws. I teach children reverence for nature in my preschool classroom, helping them cultivate a love for the earth. We explore the natural world and all its creatures with curiosity and respect. These are small gestures, but to me, they are sacred acts of reciprocity with the ecosystem that I belong to. Some of you may know I often speak of first religions or earth-based spiritualities. That's because they are a vital thread to my spiritual journey. For me, the earth is sacred. We each carry within us a divine light, and that same spark animates the world around us. When I sat down to prepare this homily, I considered lots of other directions, but I kept returning to the earth, because that is where I find the clearest expression of spirit. And I am not alone in that belief. Across the globe, many spiritual traditions reflect this deep reverence for the natural world and our place in it. In the Shinto religion in Japan, the traditional spirituality of Japan, nature is alive with kami, or sacred spirits that dwell in mountains, rivers, trees, wind, and even sound. Shrines are often nestled in forests or near water, and purification rituals connect practitioners with the rhythms of the natural world. There is no separation between the sacred and the everyday. Cleaning, sweeping, and tending the land are spiritual acts. In fact, when someone experiences a beautiful sunset, an amazing view, or something in nature that stops them in their tracks and fills their souls, a shrine is built to honor that moment and say thank you. In indigenous spiritualities, the earth is seen as kin. Among the Lakota people, the phrase, Maitake Oshian, I don't know if that's correct, I apologize if it's not, means all my relations. And it expresses the understanding that every being, whether human, animal, plant, or stone, is a relative. Ceremonies often begin by honoring these relationships. To care for the earth is to care for one's family. In Hinduism, the divine is both immanent and transcendent. Nature is not a backdrop to human life. It is infused with sacred presence. Rivers like the Ganges are goddesses. Trees are revered and protected. The cow, so often misunderstood in the Western culture, is sacred, not because it is exotic, but because it gives without asking, milk, labor, nourishment, making it a living embodiment of selfless giving. Buddhism teaches interbeing, a term popularized by Thich Nhat Hanh to describe the reality that all things are interconnected. A flower cannot exist without the rain, the sun, the soil, or the gardener. Likewise, we cannot exist without our ancestors, our communities, or the air we breathe. We are not separate selves, but a constellation of relationships. All of these traditions, and many more, remind us that reverence for the web of life is a shared human instinct. Our cultures and practices may differ, but the longing for connection, the sense of wonder, and the responsibility to care are universal. In a culture filled with scarcity, economic wealth, fanaticism, and seemingly forced separateness, finding connection can feel daunting. Lately, I've been reflecting on the idea of gift economies, particularly as described by Robin Wall Kilmer in her essay, The Service Berry, Abundance and Reciprocity in the Natural World. She writes, "The currency in a gift economy is relationships, which is expressed as gratitude, as interdependence, and the ongoing cycles of reciprocity. A gift economy nurtures the community bonds that enhance mutual well-being. The economic unit is we rather than I, and all flourishing is mutual." In her book, she tells the story of a hunter who killed an elk. The hunter brought the elk back to the village, and a Westerner asked how he was planning to store the meat. The hunter looked confused and said, "I store the meat in the belly of my brother." The hunter proceeded to share with the village all the meat. That image of mutual flourishing through gratitude resonated deeply with me. It speaks to something I've long believed, but haven't always found the words for, that relationship itself is sacred, that care is a form of worship, and that belonging is an exchange. As a teacher, I've seen how this works in practice. The classroom is its own kind of ecosystem, built around the idea of shared resources. The energy I bring shapes the energy of my students, and theirs shapes mine, such as we always know a full moon creates chaos in the classroom. Our community is built on reciprocity, respect, belonging, and trust. Just as I see the classroom as sacred, I see this sanctuary, the space that we share, as sacred too. We all bring our strengths, our talents, and gifts to share for the good of all, both inside these walls and in the greater world. Our presence together creates a web of energy and care. We cannot be separate from it. What happens to one of us happens to all of us. So, what do we do when the inevitable heartbreak comes? When time stops, and we feel isolated, disconnected, and alone in the darkness. When everything we thought we knew falls away. We've all felt this way at one time or another. And when I do, I try to return to the elements. I take small steps back toward connection whenever I am ready, and I start with air. With air, we just breathe. We notice the feeling of air in our body. The air we breathe today began thousands of years ago in the atmosphere. The trees and plants around you contribute to it every day, just as you breathing sustains them. We are connected in every breath. Then fire. Step into the sunlight. It's very, very hot here. Feel it on your face. Let the warmth of a cup of tea or the heat of a loving hug remind you of your connection. Fire transforms and reveals. The sun and the inner fire of the earth sustain our bonds with one another and all life. Then comes water. Water moves emotions. A dip in the ocean, a river, a lake, a long, hot, or cold shower can be cleansing. Water flows through the earth, through animals and plants, and especially through us. We are all connected through its cycles. Then we move to earth. Put your feet on the ground. Sit lie down. Let your weight sink into the support of Mother Earth. Dr. Maria Montessori believed that the place that you grow up is the place that always feels like home. For me, it's the deep Minnesota grass, the lake sand, and yellow maple trees in autumn. Where do you find home? Finally, Spirit. This is the center of us, where all the connections come together. Here we remember we are not alone. We are held in this gift economy of care, love, of mutual giving and receiving right here in this sacred place. This is where joy returns. I won't claim that this path is foolproof, but it helps me return to the truth, that I am part of the web of existence and I belong. Speaking of webs, many of you know I enjoy backpacking in the wilderness. I love the quiet, beautiful challenge, and I delight in seeing the sacred beauty of the earth around me while encountering a blister or two. One of the joys of being the first on the trail in the morning is also one of its challenges, walking through the spider webs. My initial reaction is always to recoil and brush the web stuck to my face off with a few choice words. But when I pause, I look more closely, I see the morning light illuminating these delicate strands woven with such intention and skill. The spider worked all night, creating something both functional and beautiful. I think then of the webs we all weave, of connection, of relationship, of care, and just like the spider's web, these invisible threads hold us when we need them most. So here's my invitation, my call to action. Seek. We are all seekers. Seek the threads of connection to your community, to the earth, to all living beings. Seek your own spiritual truth. There are more people being born every day, bringing new wisdom into the world. There are religions and traditions offering glimpses of the mystery, truths seen from different angles and windows into the sacred. Don't settle for anything less than a lifetime growth in your truth, because the search itself, free, responsible, and rooted in gratitude, is sacred. In the words of Xavier Rudd, follow the sun. Let me leave you with this blessing. May you walk gently on the earth. May you listen for the breath of trees and the wisdom of water. May your heart stay open to wonder, and may you never forget you are not alone. You are woven into the web, and the web holds. Thank you.